Trapper got buffed and nerfed at the same time, so is it actually a better tower now? Well, let's start by looking at the stats. Oh, but make sure to subscribe, we're super close to 30k guys. Wait, don't skip, Starting at level 0, its fire rate gets slowed down from 5.5 to 6 seconds. Max traps get reduced from 5 to 4, as well as spike damage decreasing from 15 to 10. It however does become cheaper at only 550 cash, meaning you can place it on wave 1 now. This might sound like a nerf overall, but this is actually a buff. You can place it as single level 0 trapper and it can solo till wave 10, which is actually pretty insane for only 550 cash. Next on level 1, the fire rate gets slowed down to 5 seconds, as well as the max traps being increased from 4 to 5. The spike damage also gets doubled from 10 to 20 damage. This leads to a DPS of 4 at a cost of 500 cash, which makes for a really good upgrade. Following that on level 2, the max traps get increased from 5 to 6, and spike damage doubles again from 20 to 40. This results in a DPS of 8 at a cost of 1500 cash, which makes this upgrade seem really bad. It does however unlock landmines, which deals 65 explosive damage with a cooldown of 7 seconds for a DPS of 9.7, which is pretty good. Next up on level 3, the max traps get increased from 6 to 8. The spike fire rate gets reduced from 5 to 4 seconds, and the damage increases from 40 to 75. As for the landmines, the fire rate gets reduced from 7 to 6 seconds, with the damage increasing to 100. This results in a DPS of 18.7 for spikes and 17.1 for mines, at a price of 5000, which is an okay upgrade at best. Finally on level 4, it gets a lot of changes. The maximum traps gets increased from 8 to 10, and starting with spikes, the cooldown gets reduced from 4 to 2 seconds, and damage increases from 75 to 100, which is basically 50 DPS. Next with landmines, the damage gets increased from 90 to 175, as well as the reload reducing to 4.5 seconds. Not only that, the burn damage also deals an extra 64 damage. It drops defense with each burn tick, so it can decrease defense by up to 50%, which is pretty solid. This leads to a total of 53.1 DPS, making it better than the normal spike option in most scenarios. Lastly, the bear trap got some massive buffs. Its fire rate slows down from 5 to 7.5 seconds, but its damage gets buffed from 100 to 400. The stun duration stays the same at 3 seconds though. This all comes at a pricey cost of 13,500, which is basically double than before. Now, to put these buffs into perspective, bear traps had a damage per second of 20 with a maximum of 1100 damage worth of bear traps at a time. But now it has a DPS of 53.3 and a maximum of 4000 damage. Now, to be fair, it is more expensive, but it previously had a cost per DPS of 650, but now it's only 394, which is 65% more cost efficient. The landmines are also way better now, with them dealing 53.1 DPS and 396.3 cash per DPS, making it 100% more cost efficient. Now what about spikes for the final level? Well, they're absolute trash either way, you're better off choosing between landmines and bear traps, trust me. What's crazy is that with one level 0 trapper, you can get 8 level 3 farms by wave 10 with only minimal leaks, which is like pretty insane. Its major flaw though is still that this tower is not for speedrunning modes, as auto-skipping gives Trapper barely any time to make traps, which makes it perform worse overall. Now its best map is probably Crossroads, as the lanes overlap, causing Trapper to be able to damage enemies that leaked on the first lane. Oh yeah, cool tip for this tower, when using bear traps, just set it to strongest so it just yeets the traps at the stronger enemies instead of it being wasted on the weaker ones, you know? Now most importantly, are high level players gonna use this tower? Besides potentially hardcore or other difficult modes, probably not many, as most players don't want slower runs. Although it's a definite upgrade, it's only truly useful for new players that don't have better towers, and honestly, considering it's only 3000 coins, it's hard to complain about the performance, you know? It's a decent tower, but nothing meta breaking. And yeah, that's about it for the tower. Maybe check this video? I don't know.